Companies love creating policies. Sometimes those policies make sense, but sometimes someone writes a rule without thinking about what happens when employees actually follow it. One company refused to reimburse a $20 parking fee, so an employee followed their travel policy exactly, and that $20 decision ended up costing the company hundreds. Another manager demanded employees explain every time they step away from their desks. So they did, and very quickly, the boss realized that she had made a terrible mistake. Welcome to Night Drive Tales. Our first story comes from an employee in the UK who regularly had to travel to his company's head office. Normally, he would take public transportation to the train station. It was simple, it was cheap, and he paid for those tickets himself. One day, things were different. He had recently moved and needed to get home quickly after returning from a work trip. So instead of taking public transportation, he drove his own car to the train station and paid for parking. The parking cost him about $20. After his trip, he submitted the expense like any other employee would. He wasn't trying to cheat the system, he simply wanted to be reimbursed for a work-related cost. The response came back. The company refused to reimburse him. Their reason? According to their travel and expense policy, he needed to complete additional paperwork and provide proof that his vehicle was insured for business use. They were following the rules, but so was he. Instead of arguing, he decided to do something different. He decided to read the policy and follow it to the letter. If the rules said something qualified for reimbursement, he was going to use it. The first thing he noticed was that the company had a rule about train travel. Certain travel times qualified for first-class tickets. So suddenly, the shorter trains were no longer convenient. He booked slightly longer routes, the ones that pushed him over the required time limit. And because his journey was now longer, he qualified for first-class travel. But he wasn't finished. The longer travel time meant he now qualified for an overnight stay. An overnight stay meant he could claim meals. And because he was traveling at inconvenient hours, the policy allowed taxis. The cheap public transportation he originally used had now become first-class train tickets, hotel stays, meals, and taxi rides. The company tried saving around $20. Instead, their own policy allowed the employee to increase the cost of each trip by several times that amount. He wasn't breaking any rules, he wasn't abusing the system. He was simply doing exactly what they told him to do. But sometimes, malicious compliance isn't about money. Sometimes it's about a manager creating a rule and discovering that employees are very good at following instructions. In this next story, a supervisor decides that the workplace needs a little more transparency. Unfortunately for her, her idea of transparency goes a little bit too far. Now, the team worked in a call center environment. They used a simple chat system to communicate. If someone stepped away, they would just type BRB. Everyone understands, it worked for years, and nobody had a problem. Then a new supervisor arrived. She decided BRB wasn't enough, and left a prompt saying that employees now had to explain why they were leaving their desks, so that she could have complete transparency. One of the employees tried to tell her that she wasn't comfortable announcing personal details to the entire team. The manager's response was simple: it's the rule. So, the employees decided to follow the rule. The next time they step away, instead of typing BRB, they would type things like BRB going to manager's office, BRB getting new pen, BRB gotta pee, BRB going to poop in the bathroom. Over the course of a day, he ended up messaging his boss 31 times. Almost immediately, his supervisor messaged him back and told him that it wasn't professional. But the employee pointed out something important. He wasn't ignoring the rule. Instead, he was following it exactly as she explained. She wanted details. She got details. After that, other employees started participating as well. People began giving extremely specific explanations. Details nobody actually wanted. Within a week, the supervisor changed the rule back, and suddenly employees no longer needed to explain exactly why they were stepping away. Both of these stories had the same lesson. Policies are supposed to help people, but when someone creates a rule without thinking about how it will actually be used, eventually someone will follow it exactly. And sometimes, the best way to prove a rule is ridiculous is to obey it perfectly.